Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to share with you a very powerful lesson as you're building and scaling your business, not only with a team, but most importantly, you yourself. And that is how and why you should celebrate your success in your journey and your business as you're moving along. So let's dive right in. Again, I'm going to start titling this the AI series of presentations. We're going to dive right in again with our friends at Gamma to share this training session with you. So why celebrating milestones matters in your business along the way is critical for your growth. Even though you may be working really hard, maybe working a full-time job, and then you're building this business on the side, that's okay, but you have to celebrate the growth, and I'm going to share those with you today and why they're so important. So first, you want to know what exactly is a milestone, like knowing what it is and how it's important. So let's break down a few examples. One could be you've completed a product. Let's say you finished your book or your course, your training, and you're about to roll it out and launch it out. Hey, if it's taking you a bunch of time to actually get it done, celebrate the success of getting it done. You could do this simply by maybe going out to eat with a business partner or a friend or a relative or someone who really supports you in that endeavor. Now, listen, this could be a dinner. Maybe you enjoy the cinema. Maybe you like going to the movies. So you know what? As soon as I achieve this, I'm going to go to the cinema. Maybe you want to, whatever it may be, you decide, take a day off. Maybe you want to sleep that entire day. Whatever it is, pick something and match it. It could be a sales target. This is really important as you're launching in your business, that you hit a certain mark. Maybe after you sell your first one. Second, maybe getting a new client. Maybe it's if you're working with clients and services. Great, then you got a new client, your first client, your 10th client, your 50th client. Great. Celebrate the success and then get an award or recognition. So now, if you're a solopreneur, and I'm going to bring this up just a little bit later, a little bit deeper about getting an award or recognition, could be rewarding yourself, okay? So what that means is, let's say there's a particular item that you've been really wanting to get, but you said, you know what, I'm gonna delay my gratification, and as soon as I get my first client, I'm gonna go buy that, whatever it is. You could also do that too, because now you're gaining that award or recognition for yourself. Obviously, I don't think you're the type you're going to go make a little trophy for yourself, but hey, why not? You could do that too if you really wanted to, right? So keep that in mind. Now, why is this so important in your business? This is critical to celebrate these successes because it boosts your morale and the motivation. This is like, they call it the human element. The human element means that you are now making it not just about numbers, okay? This is not, you're in business for people. At the end of the day, business is about serving customers and serving people. So it's not just the numbers and metrics and all that stuff. So what this does for you and also your team, it increases engagement. Increases your own engagement in doing what you love to do. Like, it keeps you moving forward, getting to the next one. Next, it also increases job satisfaction. Now, job satisfaction for the people in your team around you. Let me go a little deeper into this. Imagine you have someone that is your editor, okay? You have an editor on your team and you've just finished, creating your course. It's completely done. You did it before the deadline. Great. Now you want to create some motivation and some element. Maybe you give them a financial bonus, okay, as a reward. But also, what this does, it enhances their job satisfaction in working with you, right? Like, oh, this guy, this guy gives me a bonus, right? It makes them more satisfied to the work. Imagine if you were to incentivize that, you are giving out incentives to your team, that if you get it done sooner, then you get rewarded, right? So what do you think that does to that team member? It motivates them to get things done faster, it increases engagement, and it gets them more involved. And that's really critical. And not only for a team, but also for yourself. How about this? How about if you rewarded yourself for getting it done before the deadline instead of procrastinating and get it done beyond the deadline? Think about that for a minute. That's really powerful, right? I'm like the first in line at the checkout counter with that one. I'm like, yeah, before the deadlines. Because ironically, interesting enough, I've had numerous projects for myself and for my own businesses. However, when it comes to my clients that I've been working with for over 15 years, the funny thing is I care more about their deadlines than sometimes my own. Isn't that funny? Humans, we're some funny people. Again, back to the human element, reduces turnover. Turnover is when you are replacing someone with another one. Have you ever been in a position, or maybe you would be, you hired someone and you had to let them go because nothing was happening, or they just didn't seem like the right fit, or maybe you didn't keep them as engaged. Maybe it was just back to the numbers and did you get this done at a certain time? You do these types of things to help foster the engagement into the company. And this will create and form what's called the company culture and values. Now, remember, I talked about this in a previous video, so go check out that video somewhere there. Check out the title about building like company values. It's really, really important. So when you're building company values, all you're doing is like fostering three things. I'm going to go deeper into these three things, but again, it's like building up the momentum and morale of people through recognition, appreciation, creating this goal-oriented mindset, and of course, at the core of it, teamwork, okay? So, oh, there we go. All right, there we go. Oh, that keeps popping up. All right, so what this does, it's going to attract and retain top talent. Now, listen, when it comes to attracting top talent, in the beginning, you're probably not attracting anybody but yourself. So keep this in mind. This could be a little bit forward thinking for you, because as you're building an organization, you are going to want to attract top talent. People want to come and work for you and say, hey, I want to be a part of your team. You really have a cool culture, right? And that's really important. So what can happen regarding when you get good talent, when you retain top talent, and by the way, there is a really great book you should read if you're into like finding top talent. The name of the book is called Top Grading, and that's by Brad Smart. I think it's Brad Smart or Brian Smart. Sorry, it's called Top Grading. It's a really great book for recruiting top talent. I've used it numerous times throughout the course of my career in finding top salespeople, top marketers, and just really good people. So it's a really great book. I think it's Brad Smart. Top Grading, but if you know it, throw it in the comments. Remind me. So creating and retaining these top talent is really important. And this, again, fostering these three things will help increase success. So let's continue. What this can do and how this can really benefit your entire company, all right, to the people who are involved, whether it's your stakeholders. Maybe, okay, I understand, maybe you're alone right now in this company, maybe it's just you. But what's really important about this, I want you to think about this in two ways, because you're not by yourself, okay? You also have customers. Your customers can be your stakeholders. Your customers can be your future potential investors, especially if they're giving you money. They are agreeing, they are believing, they see that from a distance. They may not be like a shareholder in the company, but they're still a believer. I'll give you an example. I'll never forget the time when I was catching an Uber and I was in Phoenix, Arizona. And what I was doing is I was laying on the bed in the hotel room. I was staying at a Marriott, and I was laying on top of the bed, and I was going to go open the Uber app and, select, getting an Uber. And, what I thought at that moment was, imagine like how amazing is it to me that I'm using the service, but I also invest in the company, and how they're getting me twice. That's what I thought. Actually, that's how I felt. Like, these guys are getting me 2 times, right? Because not only was I an investor, but I was also a user of the application. And that was really important to me, because it was in that moment I said, wow, isn't it amazing how I am such a believer and investor? I'm like glued to them in multiple ways, not just as a customer, but as an investor. So I care about what's going on. Now, I'm sharing that story as me as a customer for caring what's going on. That led to me just first, let's say, being a customer, but then I engaged more and became an investor. So now I want you to think about this. Imagine if you have your book, your course, your training, you're a speaker, and then you're obviously speaking about a specific topic. However, you then promote or say, I'm also a part of this charity, all right? And you are doing things in that charity. guess what that does to the people around you? They're like, okay, well, I've already bought your book, but now you're talking about this charity that you're involved in and what you're doing with it. All this does is promote like more positive image to your audience, maybe someone who heard you or a customer or an investor. So again, you're just breeding that. Okay. You follow me? All right. So let's continue to go forward here. Okay. Next, what this will do, it's going to generate a positive PR and brand awareness. By the way, this is not the video to decipher what PR is and brand awareness. That's in a whole nother deep dive on marketing. Actually, it's something I do with my clients. When I am working with them, we decipher both things. What is marketing? What is branding? What is PR? What is direct response marketing, which is very different. They're all very different. A lot of people just kind of pool all these things together and say, this is just marketing or this is an advertisement. No. So we won't cover that here right now, but what I encourage you to do is if you want to follow along and hear about these types of deep dives in marketing and how you can use it in your business, then just subscribe or follow along and you'll get notified on those. So number one, what this is going to do is increase brand visibility. All right. So it could be social media, but it could also be like local media, maybe a local radio station, maybe another podcast or something like that. It generates this brand visibility. When people see that you're celebrating something, you're fostering this in your organization, it will increase your reputation. It means your company is not just not just doing it for the money. You're actually doing it for more, a bigger reason and purpose. And we talk about that in one of the videos about creating a mission and the vision for your business. So this will help create a very successful or, positive impact, okay, in your company. Very important. And also thirdly, what this will do, it will foster and create customer loyalty, which is what I was sharing a bit earlier from my Uber story, is it shares the loyalty, like, oh, they actually do something, they actually care, they give back, right? And that will, celebrating wins will increase that into the organization. I'll give you another example. I'm here in Uganda, but I was watching a video about Disney celebrating all their staff, like all these years celebrating their staff. They had basically like a party for their staff and how they were impacting the company and impacting the customers. And they were doing a fireworks show, right? One of their spectaculars. And as I'm watching this, I said, man, first of all, I wish I was there. Then secondly, I thought, wow, they care so much about their staff, about their Imagineers and their actually, they don't even call them staff, to be clear. They call them, why did I just forget the name? Oh, shoot. Actors. I think it's actors. That doesn't sound right. I think it is actors, but I feel like it's something else right now. I don't know why. If you know what it is, throw it in the comments, but they don't call them staff or employees and stuff like that. Cast members. There it is. That's what it is. Cast members, not actors, cast members. So they call them cast members. And I was thinking, like, while I'm watching this video, that it's amazing how they're actually caring about all their employees, but their cast members, their Imagineers, and everyone else in the team, administration from top to bottom. It doesn't matter, that they actually took the time to celebrate them. And then that just hit me. I said, man, what kind of rotten boss am I? When's the last time I celebrated my people, right? So I was thinking, like, I got to do something different. And I really want to make an impact also in my organization. So that's just another lesson that I learned. So I want to give you those 3 key points that I mentioned that can really help you, give you this good reflection and to put output into your own organization. Again, even if it's yourself. By the way, we start with one. We start with you, one. It's okay. First of all, analyze the success. So these are key factors, right? Like metrics. You have to measure it to achieve a milestone. So first you set the metrics, you set what the goal is and the milestone, and then you check the metrics and you see, what have we done? Have we achieved it by this time? And so on and so forth. So you do that first. Number 2 is you identify areas of improvement. This is really important. Like, what areas could you improve on, could get better? Now, if you're knocking it out of the park and you're hitting all your goals, that's fantastic. But I'll tell you what, even earlier this week on a Tuesday, I was reviewing my staff, one of my developers, and seeing the work that was being done. So I was looking at that, and what I did is I quickly recorded a video and I shared some areas of improvement. First, I celebrated the things that are being done well, and then I shared the things that need improvement on that. So that's really important. And then lastly, what you want to do is develop strategies, plan for future growth and new goals. So as you're knocking them out of the park and you're achieving your goals and your dreams, which is great, but you want to develop new strategies to, like, maybe how can you automate things? How can you get things done better, faster, more efficiently with still keeping the quality? Those are the things that you want to be considering. Okay. All right. On to the next one here. All right. So planning your milestone celebration, some practical tips, like how should you do this and what can be done? What can be done in the mix to celebrate that? Number one, set a budget and a timeline. Okay. Set a budget and a timeline. So like I said, if it's something you have a small budget, maybe just go out for food, some drinks, whatever it may be. Maybe there's a certain item that you want to buy, put it in the budget. Next, choose a theme. A theme can help create this kind of celebration. So for example, if it's something like a high achievement thing, like let's say you made $100,000 on let's say your course launch, well, create a good theme around that. Don't just like go for drinks on $100,000 revenue. Does that make sense? Like really spice it up. Like put some time in, allocate a budget. Like I said in number one, allocate a budget for it. Maybe if you make 100,000, you spend 1,000. Okay. If you make 200,000, you're spending 3,000, whatever it may be, but make sure it's worthwhile so that it can leave an impact. Number three, plan some activities. Now, this is typically done in bigger corporations. You do like team building events. I've done so many of these, conducted them, hosted them, trained in them, and it's a really good time. It keeps engagement going. Now, you might be thinking, well, Nathan, I'm all alone. There's no one else but me, or your team is virtual. Listen, there are very creative ways you can have an event, like a group event virtually. We've seen it before. They did it a lot during COVID, but also think about this, the activities that you can do as a team, even if you're all virtual, even if you're just hiring freelancers. Again, maybe it's just something you do together. I want to give you one last quick one that we used to do between me and my two business partners. We lived in 3 different parts of the world. Actually, I'm sorry, I was in the other hemisphere. So my 2 business partners were in the United States, and at the time I was in Portugal, and we were building a business. And in order for us to celebrate our success, we got together, we brought any drink we wanted. We had to go out and buy some, what are they called? Hula flower necklaces. I forgot what it's called. And then we bought some masks, and we just hung out and laughed and talked about it. I think we even still have it recorded. And we just talked about the good times that we had in our success. And that was it. And we did that for about an hour. We talked about life, and that was our little way of celebrating that success. And so that's something that we did. You can get creative and do what you want to do. So what's really important is the celebration part. So again, it doesn't have to be super luxurious. It doesn't have to be amazingly huge, but it's got to be something, and make it a necessity, make it a priority, that when you get something done and something happens in your business, this will create and foster positive work environment. It attracts more talent or good talent, and it propels the business growth. Just make it a part of your culture, of your company culture, make it part of your culture. Even if you're the only one, make it a part of your culture. Maybe in a future video, I'll share with you my vision board, because some of those things on the vision board are something that I can get instantly or make it happen right away, or I use the delayed gratification that when I achieve the success, we move forward and get those things, or we celebrate the success in a certain way. So I'll share that in another video, but for now, go out, apply some of these things into your own business, and I'll see you in the next one.